Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday on Thanksgiving long weekend. Just, give me a sec here, everybody. For anybody new to me, it my name is Ernestine Day, and I am the Soulful Guitarist, and I channel energy from source through my guitar. Don't tell me I don't have any internet. Listen to this because it's telling me I'm live here. It's telling me I'm live here. Okay. That's a good sign. I'm having some sound difficulties. So, yeah, I'll put it this way. Some technical issues, whatever is going on. And it's trying to say my Wi-Fi isn't working, but it is working. So I just rebooted the whole thing, and so I'm not sure what exactly is going on here. But no matter what, I'm on here. Okay. Oh, you hear that? Anyway, I got a short someplace. I need to find where it's at. And let's see where we go. Here we go. We, wow. So, I'm actually running off right now off my, I'm using my phone as a router because apparently my Wi-Fi is acting up. Oops. Where's my arm? There's my arm. So, I'm here to alchemize some energy. Whoops, sorry. Anybody's not familiar with me, my name is Ernestine Day, and I am the Soulful Guitarist, and I channel energy from source through me, through my guitar, without using words. And I've been stepping into something for the last, 4 weeks, and I even had to do it again today. And you know what? I'm fucking good at what I do. It's not ego, you guys. This is the knowing within myself. And I'm so proud of myself for being so aware of who I am, not what other people may think of what I am. They're fucking clueless. So they think, oh, I'm so smart. No, you're not. And, I'm just going to get to the point of this, like it didn't matter what I said today, it didn't matter, right? It was Pride, Langley Pride is coming up August the 9th, and at the last meeting we had, it was decided, today, 2 people decide, nope, we're going to be doing this. And they don't think that I'm capable or able to get people up dancing and moving, honest to God. And so I'm trying to speak up for myself, which I did speak up for myself. They were not hearing a fucking word I was saying, because it does not speak of me. And that's one thing I'm so friggin' clear within myself. And there's 2 other people that were there that, like, this is nuts. That's not their words, those are my words, but it is nuts, it's stupid. And, and I even said, give me the opportunity. Let me, have an opportunity to show you all what I'm made of and everything I get to do and be. Nope. And I said, oh yeah, and then I said, and if it's not what you want, then I won't be involved next year, no problem. Nope. What they did, they gave me 2 options. They'll stick me in a room for 1 hour, or if I want to be on stage, just remember the fact is the doors open at 5:30, okay? That they'll stick me on stage from 5:30 to 6, and then they're going to have other people perform. And I said, well, why don't you put me on 6? Nope, you're going to be 5:30 or nothing. Literally, that's what it was. And it was very disappointing, disheartening about it's just, shit only rolls one way from the top down. I did nothing wrong but ask if I could play at Langley Pride. And one person from the get-go said, no, we'll find you a room. If people want to listen to you, they can go in there and hear you. That's exactly what she said. She may not recall that, but that is exactly what she said. And that's why I was saying, like, I'm damn good at what I do. Trust me. Give me that opportunity. But if you don't give me the opportunity, how in the fuck are you going to know? I don't say those words to them, but that's the truth. And it just showed their tunnel vision, their narrow-mindedness. And it's like they said, I don't fit into their agenda as far as what I do. You're a soulful guitarist. Yeah, so I said, Spirit gave me my name. It's like, dishonor my name and what I do. So I'm taking a couple days. Oh, they wanted an answer immediately. And I need time to process this. Nope, we want it now. And somebody finally piped up and said, well, give her till at least Wednesday. And they finally backed off, okay, fine, reluctantly. And so, I'm very disappointed, like after all these years stepping back from the community and having nothing but the most amazing experience, stepping back and entrusting myself. And then some of you guys know what happened this past Tuesday. I was shunned at a senior gathering. I was shunned by five, basically four plus people. The fifth person was completely, but it was difficult. And I know that the two Langley members that were there, they were not okay with what happened. And that's what I'm getting at. It's not okay. And, I could go down the rabbit hole and go, oh, how dare them do this, playing the victim role. No, I'm just standing up for myself and being very clear from within all of me. It was decided 2 weeks ago, but, and I brought up the fact is, if you guys were all yakking, you would have heard what was going on. And I spoke about Kylene, and they didn't care, because, there's only 2 people running the committee, not 3, not 4, 2 people, and one person, which is the person who has an issue with me, which is very evident by her behavior and conduct. And it's like, and it's, I can't help it, they weren't fucking listening, right? And it was just stupid how everything went, and it, stupid beasts, you know what I'm trying to say. So I'm on here to alchemize, and that's what you just experienced. I've never done that energy before, but that's just me alchemizing. I have no power. None. Yep. Yeah. And so I'm going to decide what I'm going to do. And, they've insulted me enough. Chances are I'm not going to do anything for Pride. And I'm going to maybe possibly step back from the committee, because it's not about the actual entire committee. It's about, because in our committee there's, and I understand this to a degree, is we have a facilitator, and we have 2 co-facilitators. That's all they are, is co-facilitators. They are not the committee. We all are the committee. But what's happening is the primarily the one co-facilitator, is what she is. And she tried to deny today that she ever said that. She said to me, a month ago, we'll find your room, we'll put you in there. People want to listen to you, they can go in there and hear you. That is the most rudest comment, remark anybody could ever say. Unfortunately, Jennifer, yes, they do. Because of their, the person that is usually the chair, she just stepped back a few days ago. Oh, Dawn, it's been a long time. Yeah, do you like my chimes? Yeah. Yeah. And thank you. Stupid as stupid does. Thank you. Thank you, Lynn, for saying that. Thank you for getting that. Anyway, let's see where we go. Enough of this shit. I'm sorry, but anyway, here we go. love alchemizing, you guys. It's amazing. It's just like most of you guys know that I'm not in the driver's seat, but I'm trusting myself at a level I've never driven. Not even really driven, but I've been a part of the ride for. But I'm trusting myself. And it's like what I just did. It was like, wow. And a long time, God, Dawn, how many years have we known each other? Here's the funny part about Dawn and me, is we knew each other in Facebook land. I think she was living in Winnipeg or somewhere around there back then. It's been a few years, quite a few years actually. And then about 9-10 years ago, I was at the Crescent Beach folk thing that they had. And so there was this gentleman there. And so afterwards, I was outside and he was there. He started talking to me. Ended up being Dawn's brother. It was like, what? And it was absolutely amazing. And he lives in Kelowna. He just wanted to be in town and stuff. So I got to meet her brother, but I've never physically met Dawn yet. It's amazing. I'm so grateful for everything that I am. Not what I think I am, but knowing who I am. And I know there's been a lot of the shifts in many, many people, because a lot of people are still asleep, we know that. And that, doesn't put anybody down. And I'm not judging anybody, because here's the thing is this, there's been so much manipulation, there we go. There's been so much manipulation been happening for the last how many years? Okay, of information for me is I want to watch a whole thing. So I can't stand listening to Trump, be quite honest, because he's so full of lies and manipulating people, making them thinking he's the all high mighty, right? And I'm not going to get into politics. My whole point is this: stop believing everything you're hearing. Go watch the whole video. Go watch the whole whatever. Watch the whole thing. You can honestly then form a complete opinion, shall we say, based on all of it. Not a snippet to manipulate, look like something else than what it is. And this is the thing about people. We all have a responsibility. And if you choose not to look at that and understand that, one day you go, oh shit, I heard that. And hey, we've all done it. I've done it, right? People have told me things, and we have to figure it out in our own time. But if we're opening up our hearts and just listen from within, not this, but listen from within, that's where the truth lies about who you are. And all the wounds, everything's right there. And for me, as I open up to my own thoughts, my own feelings, my own emotions, which started in 1996. And I would channel that energy through my guitar. That's how this music has started. And I did put my music away for about 12, 13 years, whatever it was. Something happened that was very devastating to me. And, 2015, I started picking up the guitar again. And, and then in 2020, I connected with an amazing group of spiritual beings from around the world. And it's what I've learned and what I'm understanding, and the truth is understanding about myself has been amazing. And I can look back and all this magical stuff. It's like even me, it was only a couple of days ago, the last couple of days, that I said, I'm alchemizing. I've never said that before. Look at this, you guys. You can see that? You hear the chimes, but you can see the light. And to me, that's spirit. Maybe not for you, but if you don't believe or understand, that's okay. But don't make me wrong so you feel like you're right. Because this is where we get into this stuff. And you're absolutely right. It's the old program. And a lot of people don't even understand or comprehend what that word means. Right? And it's, the way you're taught to behave. You speak this way. You respect your elders and all this stuff that we're taught from little things into growing. And what we were forced to do, even when we didn't want to sit on the perpetrator's lap, that's one of the things that happened to me. I was forced to sit on my grandfather's lap, the one who perpetrated me. And because it wasn't okay for me to express myself then. And when I started opening up to my own thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and found this incredible avenue to express myself, because there's no words in what I do. And what I do is actually light language. And then June of 2021 is when I invested in my looper. This incredible tool has cracked me wide open. Just what you just experienced. Not at the beginning, no. But, as I've been learning, growing, expanding, and trusting myself for the last 3.5 years, it's coming up towards 4 years, that is me trusting myself and stepping into this that I am. And it's like it's just like this energy, like I know what I'm feeling, but I'm not immersed into that. I'm observing that, but I know I'm deeply hurt. And it doesn't mean I don't shed tears, because I did earlier. It was actually with a friend of mine. And so I'm just so grateful to have my soulmate, because I don't have to think about words to describe what I'm thinking and feeling. My guitar gives me my voice. Okay, let's see where we go. Yeah, that incredible tool instrument is called ocean drum. Yeah, it's called an ocean drum. And just so you guys can see, now you can buy cheap ones, which I did buy one cheap because that's all I could afford. And then I finally bit the bullet and ordered this guy. This is a 22-inch drum. One side is actually a drum, if I use it for that. And then on the other side, it's clear, and you can see the beads. Yeah. So that's, yeah, I love this thing. It just adds to everything that I get to do and get to be. Yeah. Okay, I think I got one more, Andy. Yeah. Let's see where we go. I looked over and saw that I ran out of space on my SD card. Just so everybody knows, I use this is called this is a Zoom H5 recorder, and anything that can muddles through everything. And I have this plugged directly into my mixer, so it's coming out pure. And I'm amazed at how it's hearing what I'm hearing, right? I know you guys aren't exactly, you're hearing what I'm doing, but it's not with the same clarity that this thing is captures. And that's so, anyway, on that beautiful note, I don't want to start, uh, oh, you got your eye on me too, or, I've got to be careful. Ooh. And that, and it was funny, Spirit was just showing me that, one of the things they said was, that I don't play music on the radio that people are familiar with. Yeah. That was another excuse or reason. To me, it's more like an excuse. It's not a legit reason. It's finding a way to manipulate this to give me the clear message. And it does not speak of me one single bit. It speaks of them. And I'm so grateful for my willingness, my heart and soul's desire to do the inner work that has gotten me to this level that I am at now. And there's no looking back. It's stepping forward and seeing what unfolds next. But I do not want to have anything to do with chaos, drama. I want to be around people who speak kindly of each other. It's like if you read a lot of my posts, it's exactly me, right? Treat people how you want to be treated. You want to be spoken to like whatever, right? And I think it's quite interesting because, I can see in people the hurt, the pain that's been caused to them. They think I'm joking. I do. Yeah, I do. I'm an empath. Everything I do is based on energy. Everything I see is through energy. And it's a beautiful thing to be in. This amazing energy that I am. And I will not allow anyone or anything to interfere with my energy. I don't want to be around people who do not value me and my art. And you don't value me as a person, a human being who has feelings and emotions. I like to be spoken to. I like people conversing back and forth. Conversation. A dialogue of a healthy dialogue. You think how many conversations we've been in that are full of dysfunction, blaming, shaming, etc., etc., etc. I think we're done with that. I know I'm done with that. And this journey that I've been on has been very incredibly like, well, I did that. I did that. I just spoke truth to what was said and how it made me feel. And it's quite interesting how she said, I never said that. And she tried to say it really nicer today. I'm thinking that. But people don't get the fact is how you truly feel about somebody is what you speak of them or to them. You cannot hide that. That is. You can try to fool other people, right? You don't fool me. I see right through it all. And I'm going, I'm not doing this dance. You can respect me for that, or you want to make me whatever. That's like, I don't want to, This whole thing, it just, you know, even while I was playing, it was just like I stepped back into the community, started just over 2 years ago. I've had some incredible experiences until of late. And the common denominator is one person. That's the common denominator. People don't see it yet, but I know eventually they'll see it. I know that. Right? Because the truth always comes out. And eventually this person will show their true colors, and people will start to get the fact is just that. They've always shown us their true colors. But people have a tendency to minimize and dismiss. Oh, they didn't mean anything by it. Oh, yes, they did. Yes, they did. Because they're speaking their truth of exactly how they think or feel about anybody or somebody. They always do. And if people are trying to make me feel that, oh, you're making a mountain out of a molehill, no, I'm not. Because the one person is common denominator, because I can feel her energy, I can feel her. Oh, it's almost like a despise. Like it's resentment. And like I know I'm a very strong person. There's nothing wrong with that. And you may not understand a lot of things I say. That's okay too, but you don't have to make me feel, not make me feel, but, to minimize what I'm saying. If you don't understand, you have two options. You can be open up your heart and go, you know what, that might be a possibility. I want to think about that. I want to be with that energy. Take a look inside. Some people aren't ready to enter that space yet of going inside. But they do not have the right to project that into this or anything else. And that's where I stood up to it. No. Nope. And I'm going to make the necessary changes to make me safe again. Because I do matter. I do matter. As much as I've enjoyed what I've done, people I've met, and all these incredible meetings I've gone to, every single one of them, maybe missed one. I think I did miss one, but I don't, I'm not sure. And to go, no, I'm walking away. You cannot treat anybody with such rudeness, disrespect, and disregard. I would never, ever think of doing that to anybody. I'm just grateful I am who I am. Absolutely, Jennifer. Jennifer just said, you can't hide from those of us who can read energy. Yep. Absolutely. But that's where I'm going to keep on showing myself. And when I say this next year for Pride, Langley Pride, I know that the Langley Pride Society will have me on stage, or any other events that they have. They love what I do. They fully support me. And they even feel that I deserve to be on that stage. At least the opportunity. Yeah. So, on that lovely note, I'll put my arm back down. I'm going to say happy Saturday, happy Easter weekend for those who celebrate that. It is what it is. Anyway, out of kindness and respect and love for everybody, hugs and loves. And I'll see you guys.